Hey, what's up guys, Jack here from Salute the Magpie, and today we're going to be talking about Trophy Eye's latest release, Chemical Miracle, which was released early in October. They've definitely changed their sound for the better, they've evolved massively, so without further ado, let's get into it. Now Trophy Eye's debut, Mend Move On, was very solid, but Chemical Miracle has really upped the ante. It's definitely a change in the band's sound, for the better. I believe that it can still hold its own within the punk scene that the previous album did lend itself to. The album does hit you instantly with this somber tone that you didn't really hear on the previous album. The opening track, Chlorine, instantly hits you with John Mulaney's new vocal tone. It's a lot less gruff vocals that you hear on the previous releases and a lot more somber tone taken. I feel this Chlorine really introduced you to the album well and the new sound that Trophy Eyes are going for. The choruses are much bigger and then the verses still keep to those roots of the punk melodic hardcore scene. The album's taken a more serious tone with tracks like Breathe You In and Suicide Pact. As if you can't tell from the title, it's very emotional. Mulaney is essentially putting his heart on his sleeve and showing the whole world his emotions and what he's been through. This album really hit me hard, it brought through lumps to my throat and in places was very, very emotional. There's a theme that keeps cropping up in my head when I listen to the album start to finish. The gruff vocals display a more angry side from Mulaney, and the softer, more serious tone shows the isolation and sadness that Mulaney has been through, and that really comes across in the lyrics as well. Really well written. The music itself really fits into bands such as Modern Baseball, Puh, Touche Amore. What also strikes me on this album is the similarities with early Wonder Years stuff. If you're fans of the Wonder Years, The Upsides and Suburbia, you'll definitely be able to hear these similarities in this record. What I'm trying to say is Trophy Eyes have thrown genre out the window with this one. The only track that I felt was out of place on this album was Chemical. It's this weird sort of program track that has little voice hints here and there, and then the vocals come in and it's just screaming over the top of it, and it sort of lost me a bit. It's quite jarring for the rest of the album. It's sort of an interlude, but it doesn't really take away from the whole work as a whole. It shows that Trophy Eyes are experimenting, and that can only be a good thing. They've really kept hold of that shirt-tugging punk that makes you want to scream at the speakers. With tracks like Rain On Me and Miracle, they both illustrate that perfectly. But what I will say is, as you listen to the album from start to finish, you can definitely feel yourself welling up, you can definitely feel yourself feeling emotion. John really encapsulates what he was going through the lyrics and through the songs. But standout tracks are definitely the singles, Chlorine, Breathe You In, and then you have the sort of the early start of the album, which is much more fast paced and much more bigger in terms of songs and choruses. Then you get to the end of the album and it's much more serious, much more hard hitting with Suicide Pact and Daydreamer. This is a huge leap forward for Trophy Eyes and definitely sets an example for bands who put out the same album after album after album after. They show that it's possible to evolve your sound without losing those roots. This could possibly get a few more fans for Trophy Eyes. With the more clean vocals, they could definitely get a more accessible audience. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I'm super excited for what they do next. Hopefully they'll head over here on a UK tour. Last time they graced these shores was with Anti-Flag. They could possibly head out on a support slot again with the likes of maybe Newfound Glory, Taking Back Sunday, or possibly some sort of co-headliner with someone like Have Mercy, 100th maybe. But personally, here at Salute the Magpie, we hope that there's some sort of co-headliner between Trophy Eyes, Trash Boat or Rome maybe. This album is so multifaceted that they could tour with any of those bands. And on top of that, all those bands are on the same record label, Hopeless. So let us know whether you've listened to the album or not. Drop a comment down below and tell us what you think of it. So that's been our review of Chemical Miracle. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Share it around if you think someone else would enjoy it. And as always, I've been Jack from Salute the Magpie and we'll see you in the next one.